right, here we are inside of Whole Foods Produce. I want to highlight some features, talking about the seasonal foods, fruits and vegetables, and how it's ideal to shop the perimeter of this store, focusing on all the fresh foods right here. So a little bit of information on seasonal foods, why we want to focus on eating them. One, because it supports the local produce in the area. Two, those foods are thriving in the environment that we're in and ideally work as an adaptogen to allow our bodies to adapt to that type of environment. In addition, those foods are closer to when they were farmed and brought up, so it's more likely that they're going to have the most nutrients from the soil and wherever they came. So Whole Foods does a good job at highlighting these showcase types of products, and they always have real good quality standards. So right now in season we have cherries, going to be great for post-workout exercise, lower glycemic fruit, along with blueberries right here, one of my favorite fruits. So many awesome benefits, loaded with antioxidants. Speaking of samples, one of my favorite reasons coming to Whole Foods is I feel like I was going to try some new things, seasonal foods, whether it's fresh new homemade guacamole or salsa, or some honeydew or melon right here. So I'll try it out. Good stuff. Another reason I absolutely love Whole Foods, you're going to hear me say this quite a bit, fresh Thai coconut. So buy the coconut juice, much better value to get this right here, kind of makes you feel like a warrior breaking this thing open. Gotta be careful. I got another video for that. You can pour out the fresh coconut water, and then you also have the meat, and it provides you a lot of fiber and the healthy fat. So you can make your own coconut milk, make smoothies, all kinds of things. But I mean, this coconut, so many healthy byproducts from skin health, antibacterial, antimicrobial, great healthy fat that your body burns as a clean energy source. All right, so coming over here to greens, I think we all know that we need more greens. Coming into Whole Foods, I think people know that a lot of these foods are going to contribute and essentially make us healthier. What I want to just show you guys is a few ways how to implement these into your daily diet. Starting with some of the most nutrient-dense foods that are lower calorically but higher in nutrients. So think of it as like a high net gain, a good investment for your body, leaving you with a big return. So just a couple examples, I'll point out little things. I mean, like zucchini, I've been obsessed lately with making pasta out of this. I'll take a julienne peeler, which they have available here, and I'll peel it and make pasta. And now that pasta has something to offer, beyond just that palatability. You're getting, those healthy complex carbohydrates, a ton of vitamins and minerals right here. Also in season, so a good thing to consider. Greens right here. I don't know anybody that eats enough of these. We'll start out with, the most nutrient-dense granddaddy of all, getting a lot of hype, Mr. Kale right here. So there's probably 10 different ways you can use this. A few of the most common ways that I've been doing is, I'll remove it from the rib and save the ribs for juicing, and then I will either make a salad by chopping it up, put it in the food processor and chop it up a little bit smaller and make a big salad, or I can soak it in like apple cider vinegar or lemon to soften it up a little bit and make it a little bit more digestible. Some people call that massaging it. So I like to massage my kale. You can also blend it up with a smoothie. Take those seasonal blueberries, and the blueberries will ideally cut out that bitterness from the greens. It's a good way to sneak in those greens and the kale into your nutrition. Also kale chips, really easy to make. Same thing, remove it from the ribs and then make a cheese type of sauce without cheese, with like cashews, maybe nutritional yeast, garlic, and you simply bake it at a low temperature for a high heat. I have some resources for you guys as well. So a lot of options. You can also chop it up, sneak it into like quinoa and soups. But the goal is sneak this into your diet as much as you can. Examples of how you can use these is, throw them into a food processor, chop them up into like the palatability, the form that you like. The more of these, the better. You want a variety of all these vitamins and minerals, which are going to allow you to absorb more of your vitamins and minerals that you're getting from your other food. So more the better. Like I said, vegetables are extra credit. Be creative. Grab some, find a way to use it. Juicing is one option you can do. Mixing them into different smoothies. But just pointing out a few things. Celery, you know, I'll blend it up into a dressing, get a little natural, you know, salty kick from it. It's great for balancing out your minerals. Carrots, chop them up, shave them, put them in a smoothie, juice them. Parsley, cilantro, both very cleansing for your liver and kidneys. So there's any way you can sneak these types of foods in. Beets, awesome, great, very cleansing for your blood. You know, natural vasodilator, so it's going to help with everything from endurance to blood pressure. Very good for your skin. And you know, if you don't like eating them, same thing. You can juice them, you can steam them. Just be creative. Try to get out of your comfort zone a little bit. Over here to chard. You know, a lot of people are trying out gluten-free diets or getting away from grains or going paleo. You know, you take this chard and you can wrap it up into an easy wrap. So take whatever your bread is, trade it up right here for something that's more nutrient dense. Put your, you know, protein source, whatever you want, and wrap it up, maybe with some hummus or something. So a lot of resources. Just find a way to get fascinated and interested in this and try some new things. A lot of people don't realize that they need to be getting around 30, 35 grams of fiber a day. One of the best sources you can do is get more vegetables in. So if you don't like eating a giant plate full of broccoli or cauliflower, try things like cauliflower rice. I throw it in a food processor, chop it up real small. You know, you could optionally throw an egg in there or like some coconut aminos, like an alternative to tamari or soy sauce, and make yourself, you know, a delicious, savory, you know, fried rice type of dish with coconut. With broccoli, one thing that I do is the food processor. I chop it up real small and I create what I call a detox salad, which I got some inspiration, you know, from Whole Foods. So a lot of different ways. Think outside the box a little bit. That you don't need to just chomp this up. Find your delicious and add it to these foods to make it more enjoyable. Using just fresh baby spinach. Spinach is the new rice. I'll add it to whatever I possibly can. I mean, from smoothies to, you know, sneaking in quinoa, rice dishes, or bowls or whatever, but like I find a way to always chop this stuff up and just sneak in as much as I can. It's papayas, one of the best natural digestive enzymes. A lot of our foods are absent in the minerals and, you know, enzymes that we need to be able to break them down. I love papaya because it does help you break down the proteins that are in your diet. I will scoop it up, eat it as a snack. I'll put it in a dressing to have kind of like a fresh, crisp dressing, maybe with some avocado, apple cider vinegar, or tea. But you know, just another idea is loaded in vitamin C. Very good for your skin, has magnesium in it. So you get a lot of those vitamins and minerals we need in the food in a delicious way right here. Sweet potatoes, I'm a huge fan of these. You know, this is kind of my go-to carbohydrate source. You know, so I use these to make like a hash in the morning. I'll warm them up and, you know, mix them up, make like a pancake out of them. You can blend them up in a smoothie. The texture is great for these. And even making like a healthier version of a sweet potato french fry just by simply baking it and dehydrating it right there. So a lot of resources. Another thing, the beta carotene in the orange sweet potatoes, so there's yams and sweet potatoes that get mixed up a lot, is very, very good for your skin. So they're both very similar, lower glycemic, good for sustained energy, and a happy food that actually puts you in a good mood. Going over here, this is one of my favorite sections, sprouted seeds and nuts. So to touch on that, I mean, the difference of sprouted, you can do it yourself, but you know, they take the convenience and do it for you here. Sprouted walnuts and almonds, for example, they're soaked like what would happen in nature, and it removes the enzyme inhibitors that allows them to pretty much sprout and activate. This allows you to be able to digest and absorb them a lot easier. One of my favorite things, if you don't like your house smelling like fish, they have a complimentary service where you can take, you know, whether it's fresh wild salmon or it could be cod or lobster or whatever it is, and they'll actually prepare it for you. And so you can get some made ahead of time. So, and you know, talking about free range, grass-fed, grain-fed, I mean, the easiest thing to say there is, you know, you are what you eat. And if you're eating something that's been trapped and fed grains, you know, we don't always have those options, but that didn't allow that, you know, that protein source to thrive as much as you want. It's probably not gonna have as many vitamins and minerals, and in return, you're getting that, you know, same effect on your body. So grass-fed allows the animals to get more of the minerals and nutrients from the soil, also more of the healthier fats, things like CLA, which can actually help your body burn fat and use, you know, as an energy source, plus like omega-3s. You know, those are usually absent in grain-fed, whereas in grass-fed and, you know, the higher quality standards are usually there. But, you know, from getting ground options to things like, you know, the bison or the buffalo are real lean choices, a lot of grass-fed. a lot of great resources, and then they can prepare it for you here in the smokehouse, here as well. So you don't always have to cook it all. We got some of our, flaxseed and chia seed. If you guys haven't been trying chia seed or flaxseed yet, give it a shot. I'm a big fan of the chia because the texture is really cool. It's soluble. It helps keep you hydrated, keeps you full, loaded with protein, fiber. Per tablespoon of chia seed, and yeah, we're talking about that same chia that's in the chia pet right here. You get per tablespoon, you get a ton of magnesium, you get a couple grams of protein, 4 grams of fiber. So that's huge right here. So I highly recommend you grow a chia pet inside of your belly. Sprinkle it on some salads. You can make a pudding out of it because it kind of soaks up. So a lot of options right there. Greens, a lot of people always refer to greens. Think of it as a real food multivitamin. So you have your vitamin greens and your green vibrants. They have a good variety right here. And these are things like spirulina and chlorella, things that are very alkaline forming for your body, that allow you to do, they can help with everything from preventing cravings, because when your pH level is more healthy, more alkaline forming rather than acidic, it's less likely that you have cravings. You have a better mineral balance overall, less acidity, less inflammation in the body. So here we have part of the gluten-free section. Just a bunch of resources for people that might have some sort of gluten intolerance. And I challenge people, maybe pretend like you have a gluten intolerance, for a couple weeks. What that's going to do is force you to be a little bit more creative. A lot of products that are high in gluten are typically highly processed. So if you can take yourself through maybe a couple weeks or a month of gluten-free, force you to be a little more creative and use either grains that come from things like quinoa or brown rice, or hopefully getting you to eat more vegetables. So be creative, right? So here is where you have your research and development lab for really truly finding your delicious right here. You got all your bulk spices, plus you have some like the spice blends right here. So I absolutely love this section because it's everything I'm about, trying to make healthy food taste good. So I tell people, find your delicious, add your delicious to the foods that we need. Wrap what we need up in something yummy, and that's the idea of making these foods craveable. So in addition to spices just kind of giving you a taste effect, spices have so much to offer. If you look at the top 50 foods of antioxidants, I think like 10 or 15 of them are spices right there. So, a few of my favorites are going to be things like, I like fennel and fenugreek to help stabilize blood sugar, help balance, can contribute to healthier hormones. I like chili pepper and cayenne. I like that spice that helps with everything from circulation to picking up your body's temperature. And then a lot of spices, like things like ginger and turmeric, are going to help with digestion. But then you got things like turmeric, which is a superpower because it's also very anti-inflammatory. This is the tea section. So I recently had the opportunity to go to China and fell in love with like the history of tea. And you have so many different varieties. But tea is essentially, herbs and spices that have something to offer, some sort of benefit. So whether you're a tea person or not, I didn't think that I was. You don't have to have hot tea. You can have cold tea. You can cook with it, but it has so many benefits. And so different teas, you got to think a lot past just like an herbal tea or a green tea. They have tons of, medicinal types of benefits, whether it's, cleansing properties, and then obviously the energy that you get from the green teas or the yerba mate. But one of my favorite things to do with tea is I keep a big batch of it ready, and I'll get a variety of different teas that have more neutral-like flavors, and I will make the base of my smoothie with it. I'll cook with it. So I do a steam frying method, but rather than using oils, I keep the calories a little bit lower. I use tea at the base to steam my food up or blanch it essentially, and it's providing the food sometimes with extra enzymes, makes it more digestible, and it sometimes adds a little bit extra flavor. I make all my own sauces and dressings. I usually always have a base of tea right there, so I'm letting you in on an insider secret right there. Right here. Try to sample out. Delicious. Thank you for following along, and thank you Whole Foods for having us in.